Hey, everybody. How you guys doing? Happy, not sure what this day is. It's usually I don't do a whole lot of things. Like forward facing on the weekend. I usually um take that time to rest my voice and do all those type of things, but today was one of those days where we had a live event today. So we had a webinar event about the wellness scans for your life. If you missed that, then please make sure that you find it on my page. It should be the post right under this one. Um, and make sure you find that and check it out. It was my as the Wellness Chicks Collective, myself and two other practitioners, all specialize in different things, but we came together to talk about how we use wellness scans and health scans and things of that nature for our actual practice. And we actually showed you live our actual scans, right? So we showed you in real time what our actual scans were about. And so definitely want to check that out. You definitely want to make sure that you are, that you get, information about that. I'm just making sure because technology has not been my friend this whole week. And so, yeah, make sure you check that out. That was a great webinar, and it was great and beneficial to be a part of. And so I thought that I was kind of calling myself being cute with my little side ponytail. And so yeah, I was like, hey, I'm being cute, and I'm able to share it and do those type of things. So it was super cool. So I played on my being a kid for that day because we talked about different things that happened in our scan, and we were like, oh yeah, some of this stuff happened in childhood, and some of this happened in early adulthood. So we definitely want to make sure that we are, um, you know, uh, part of it. So let me make sure that I'm actually sharing this in the right place. Real quickly, guys, hold on one second. So in the meantime, just keep in mind and know that we are still in 30 lives in 30 days, and I think we may be one or two behind, but we're definitely going to catch up on it this weekend, where I'm taking the time to actually come in and show you guys, and via prompts, questions that have been asked of me, questions that have been asked, people have asked me questions. People, these are prompts or different things like that that I get asked all the time, and so we're coming to discuss those different topics during this whole month of November, which is where we're nurturing you in November. So nurturing November, and yeah, so I want to make sure that I'm doing that in the right place. Yeah, hold on. It's freezing on me, you guys, and I just want to make sure that like posting and sharing in the right place. So yeah, um, yeah, it said like 7 minutes over and 3 minutes, so it keep freezing and going in and out. So hopefully you guys can hear me. So my name is Sequoia Ashe Taylor. I'm the CEO and founder of Ashe Wellness. What I do is that I help stressed out women who are attempting to find balance to establish and maintain healing habits so that they can be healthy and happy. How do we do that? Is that we distress the mess by testing and not guessing. Okay. And so, with that being said, this is Nurturing November. We're coming, like I said, to do the 30 lives in 30 days. If you're watching the lives, wave a hand at me, say hey, hit, give me some hearts, give me some feedback, give me some comments. If you're watching live, A, so I know this thing is not freezing, and B, because throughout this month, on these particular lives, myself, other practitioners, other people who have donated prizes and giveaways and products and services, gonna pick certain lives, and then people who are actually being active and engaged are gonna get pulled out, and then you're going to get an email or a message that says, hey, give us your email or give us your address because you won a prize or you won a service, or what have you, right? And so you definitely want to make sure that you're doing it. So if you're here live, make sure that you're actually saying hey. Also, if the information resonates with you, if you have or you have any questions, please do comment those in the chat box to the side or below. I'm not sure how to do it. Shows a little different on the computer, but if you're definitely watching, then definitely say hey. Give comment and give feedback. And if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. And if the information resonates with you, or you feel like it should be shared with your network, please do hit that share button. So, with that being said, as you can see, the topic is about my advice that is the prompt is the advice I find myself often giving to my clients about stress. So because we deal with stress management as a primary niche and focal area, specifically like focusing on your adrenal glands, the adrenal fatigue, the adrenal insufficiency. So people come to us all the time about having symptoms such as brain fog, anxiety, chronic fatigue syndrome. They may have like low libido or sex drive. They have a slow response to stress. So that fight or flight is kind of slower or it's advanced. It's too much. Some people had sleep, blood sugar problems. They have a sweet or sour cravings, lightheadedness, and these are just some of the things that people come to us that give us alerts and triggers, because those things are all either regulated or functioning or produced in the actual adrenal glands, right? And so because people come to us because they're stressed out women and they're sick and tired of trying and sick and tired of guessing, a lot of times I'm talking about stress because um, that is what we promote, and a lot of times that's what people are presenting to us too. And also the main thing and advice that I like find myself always preaching, and you hear me even saying in some of our previous videos, our previous lives, is the reason why we focus on that is because everything is a stressor, right? Everything is a stressor. There's good stress and there's bad stress, but everything is a stressor. And so from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, that's a stressor. And then at night, you're supposed to rejuvenate, replenish, um, revitalize the body. That's what it's supposed to be doing while you're in sleep. It's supposed to purge those things that it doesn't need, repair those things that it needs to. That's what's supposed to happen when you're asleep, right? And even that is in a way you can look at it and say that's a stress because your body is doing those type of things, but your body itself is supposed to be in rest, in like sleep, not fight or flight or being like stressed, right? And so that is the like number zero that I tell everyone when it comes to stress, and like say almost every live and say all the time that everything is a stressor, right? And so I have three things that I'm going to share with you guys, and of course I always have to have a bonus. Three things that I commonly feel like I'm sharing with my clients about stress, right? So the zero was that everything is a stressor. And so we go through that. But the number one thing that I feel like I say to them all the time, or number one, is I have to have them identify the stressor, right? And so identify the stressor because, like I said, everything is a stressor. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be external, it could be internal. And so the main thing is identifying what that stressor is. Sometimes that is done by self-evaluation, sitting down and saying, hey, is it money? Checking those areas of wellness and saying, is it money? Is it environment? Is it friends? Is it, my work? Is it mental? Is it physical? Is it spiritual? Is it emotional, right? All those, those 8 areas of wellness, checking those, sometimes it's just a self-evaluation. But a lot of times, a lot of people don't know what it is that they're stressed with. They know how it presents because of those elements that I said before, like an anxiety or chronic fatigue, or my hormones are out of whack, or I can't sleep. Those things are how they manifest. But a lot of times you don't even know what that stressor is. And so that is why we test and not guess, right? So when you come to me, most of the time, the number one test that I'm going to recommend when we actually doing lab work, I guess I have back here in the test, we have several different labs that we could do. One of the main tests that we do is the stress and hormone panel, right? And so this test is actually a saliva test that checks your actual cortisol levels on 4 different times of the day. So when you first wake up within certain minutes, mid-morning, mid-afternoon, and night. And so that actually gives you correlation about things that are actually stressing the body. So you actually be able to go on a deeper level to find out what that actual stressor is. So sometimes it is a self-evaluation, and sometimes it's an actual like test that you have to do. And that test also tests your hormones. It tests your actual like your melatonin, because a lot of times that is disrupted when people are having problems with their sleep. And so it tells us your testosterone, your progesterone, your estrogen, your DHA versus your cortisol. It tells us all those good things or whatever as far as hormones and things of that nature. And so that's just one of the 5 tests that we actually can run on someone. And then also we have like the DNA stuff that tells you what you are born with. So certain things are like being acted upon based off what you were born with, right? And so your mother and your father came together, they made a human and a person that is you. And so there are certain things that you are based off, like even in those same areas of your diet or your exercise, or how you react to stress, how your body absorbs minerals and vitamins, how your body responds to sleep, and so on and so on. Even if you have headaches and migraines and your focus, and I mean, there's cardiovascular information. There's so many different reports that we could pull based off your DNA that tells us what you were born with. Everything after that is going to be based off on a test, because you're able to see those things more currently and say these are what happened to me subsequently from what I was born with. What you're born with is not going to change. It's just whether it's being acting, is it acting up or is it staying dormant. And so those are the things that I tell them all the time. Like, hey, we need to identify what that stressor is. Sometimes it could be the wellness scan that it's more of an energy thing, right? It's more of an energy block or an emotional block. And so then you get to see it that way and then find the protocols that we're needing to address to make sure that we release those blocks. So it's definitely identifying what it is, finding out what it is, finding out what that stressor is. And sometimes it's just as easy as, hey, like I said, a self-evaluation and being able to pinpoint what those things are. And sometimes you have to do testing and scans and, you know, those lab tests to be able to find out what those are. Your body can tell you what is stressing it versus you doing that, right? And so there are many things that could be stressors to you. It could be your gut bug, right? You could have different things as far as like your food sensitivities. Like I said, eating is a major stressor or whatever. So those type of things can be stressors to your body. So we just have to identify what it is that's actually showing up in the area of stress. So that's number one, identifying the stressor. Number two is to accept it, right? And give yourself grace. Most of the time, because these things, when they come to me, it's been happening for so long. This is not something that's acute that's been happening. Or it started yesterday, and then I saw you live, or I was referred to you, or I met you, or I want to do a scan, and then this just happened yesterday. It's been deep seated and it's been deep rooted. And so a lot of times people are feeling like defeated or just like, oh, like what? I just can't figure it out. I don't understand. I don't get it. And so the main thing is that the whole thing that we talk about when we talk about stress management is the first thing is the art of acceptance. You're going to accept the things as though they are. Give yourself grace for what you are in this process, and then we're going to set those protocols in motion to be able to move forward. Make the commitment to say, I'm going to move forward to correct those things. So instead of beating yourself up or feeling bad, and once you see yourself, sometimes it can be a little bit nerve-wracking or like, oh my gosh, this has been happening to me. But it's accept it. We're going to accept it and just, hey, be mindful in the present, right? Not going to worry about those things in the past, and then use those type of recommendations and lifestyle changes and protocols that are going to help you to move forward, right? To have a better life. And so that's number two. Number three is to find ways to A, reduce stress, B, manage stress, and C, eliminate stress. He says, Sequoia, well, like, that's the same thing. Like, why you can't just say how we could get rid? Like, you say, yeah, whatever. And so I tell people all the time I focus on stress management, right? Because remember, if everything's a stressor, it's certain stresses of the body I don't want to get rid of. And so that's why I say reduce, manage, and eliminate. When I say reduce stress, right? For example, this could be that, like I said, eating food, the whole your whole digestive system, like your circulation system, all the movement and stuff that goes on, those are major stresses to the body, but you have to have them, right? You have to have your system processing food when you eat it, or there will be no longer like function itself. How would your system like get the nutrients that it's supposed to do if your body didn't do all that it need to, breaking it down and siphoning it here and siphoning it there? So that is a good stress. It's just very stressful, right? You can't take that away that it's very stressful. It's just a stress that we need to have. So I can reduce the stress load on my body by watching what I eat, the types of food I'm eating, when I'm eating those types of things, right? And so that's why they say it was a thing that I kind of understand, but they were saying, did you understand why there are certain things that are grown seasonally? Maybe that's because your body should eat these things in the winter, and these are things that can be processed and digested easier in the summer, and some of the things that's actually one of our prompts. Someone asked that, like, hey, is it easier to digest certain foods in the winter? I'm like, okay, we'll figure it out and get the answer to you. So that's going to be a live coming up soon. But actually having certain foods in certain seasons, and also what you're eating. So if I know that, like, for me, I have problems with inflammation in my gut, so and things of that nature. There are certain things that I shouldn't eat. So being mindful of food sensitivities, right? Being mindful of foods that are going to be harsh to the body. Eating dairy, eating cheese, certain types of cheeses and stuff like that. If you know that's going to cause mucus and build up and stuff like that, that's stressing the body to be able to make that actual process of eating harder and making it break down, and it affects the organs and your gallbladder and your adrenals and your liver and your kidneys, all those good jazz organs that you need. They get weakened because of that process, because you're making it more strenuous, right? So your body doesn't recognize Oreos as food. So it doesn't even recognize that, or it doesn't recognize chips, any of that soda. So that's why when it's like, oh, how come I can keep eating all these things? Because it is not alive. It's not a green. It's not been from the earth. Your body does not recognize that as a food, so it's harder to actually process that. And then most of the time, it doesn't process it at all. You'll be surprised. It doesn't process it at all. And so that's one way when I say reduce the your stress, because there are things that you can't really, like, you don't want to like get rid of that. You need those types of stresses, right? When I say manage, right, there are certain things that I say like in manage, and a lot of times this is more like the outside things and stuff like that. Like some people have a crisis plan, some people have emergency plan. I have a stress management plan. When I get to a level 4, it is time for me to start implementing my plan, because anything over 4 for me starts causing my moods. Mood swings start having me being angry, or me being stressed out, or me being worried. It messes with my hormones. Usually that's when my gut gets inflamed. And so I have known and have set up a stress management plan that when I get over a level 4, we need to be doing something else, right? And so managing that, having a way that you actually manage your stress. For some people, it could be EFT tapping. You hear me talk about it a lot, where you tap the certain meridians, right, and actually say affirmations and points to kind of drive home to bring yourself to be more present. Mindfulness, mindful meditation. Those are things that all cause you to be present and be more present right now, be mindful of being here, versus like I'm trying to run from something that happened in the past. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. That usually where like a lot of depression and stuff sets in. And then anxiety is more so I'm concerned and I'm like chasing the future so hard, or I'm worrying about the future so hard that I get anxious about it, right? And so once you start doing stress management techniques, such as like a mindfulness or a mindful meditation, those things cause you to be centered. They cause you to be more grounded. Doing things like qigong and using certain products, right? So some people like use essential oils, or some people use herbs, some people use CBD, flower essence. I mean, Chinese medicine. We could go on and on and on about these things, right? About the different things that you could do to actually help manage your actual stress levels. Doing self-care, having time where you take a weight and decompress. Acupressure, you guys gonna hear me talk about that a little bit more coming up soon, about acupressure, using acupressure, especially like at home, to use, and especially on certain meridians as well, and pressure points, to actually start decreasing stress and anxiety and helping with insomnia and things of that nature, right? So there's so many different things that you could do for stress management to help calm and lower those things, as far as being able to manage them. Because sometimes if it's something at work, or if it's something with a spouse, or if it's something like those things that you can't control, allow yourself the things that you can control to be more mindful of, right? And managing those better. The third one that I said, to find ways to eliminate stress, right? So even though I said that everything is a stressor, and that there's good stress and there's bad stress, and that sometimes you can't get rid of, you have to reduce it, sometimes you have to manage it, and then there are certain things that you need to eliminate. Eliminate certain foods from your diet, right? Removing and deleting what I call nouns, people, places, and things. Things that you know are gonna be triggers for you for for stress. You can delete those. Like you can make your life better by not going to certain places. You can eliminate your life by not being around certain people or listening to certain people, right? And so there's certain certain things that you could do or not do, or have or not have, that could cause less stress, right? And so that's the process when we say eliminating those, eliminating things that are triggers to you, eliminating things that are causing high stress, high anxiety, or depression. And so those things that are causing your body to be at a heightened state of consistently being and staying in fight or flight, you can actually remove those and eliminate them. You can eliminate certain things. And so if it's a bad stressor that is causing harm and you can eliminate it, that is a way too that I found that we tell our clients about, helping them to reduce stress and have not a stress free life, but a life that they have been managing better as far as their stress. And so those are the three things that I find myself all the time, like basically baseline, without being able to see that person, to see what is actually causing their stress. Those are baselines of like how we get to that process of doing things. And then we also do individual and customized care. So once we get those tests back, once we do self-evaluation, we create the protocols to help you to start to reduce, manage, and eliminate the stress, right? By the stress and the mess, because we've already done the testing and I guess, right? And so the bonus piece that we always say, and it's find your. I know they told me to say today on the live. They were like, "Oh, she got cute." They tried to guess size. I'm like, I forgot I had them, and then they light up. I was hoping it was gonna help with my lighting. It didn't. But I mean, hey, finding, finding your ashe, finding that aspect and key point about knowing that you have to own it. as well, right? That I have the power to change and make things happen. Find your Ashe. That is one of the basic things that we talk about when someone joins us over in Ashe Land by becoming one of our clients, and they come and become a part of Ashe Wellness. Is that the whole premise is to find your Ashe, right? You have the power to change and make things happen. So that's why we say, hey, I put I in front of it, claim it. I have the power to change and make things happen. And so those are different ways um, that we give advice, or that I commonly find myself giving advice to my clients about, like, the stress in their life and stress management, or how to, like, as far as what stress is and how to take care of it. So if you did not catch it, those are the three things. Please start from the beginning and watch the 3 points about what we found out, as far as, like I said, giving advice that I come and find myself telling my clients about stress. And if you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. You definitely want to leave comments and stuff, because, like I said, this is Nurturing November. We're going to be pulling from different lives. We may go to a live and watch it and say, hey, this person commented, let's contact them, let them know that they want a prize or a service or something like that. And then again, if this information resonates with you, then please do hit that share button. And I have been getting asked all the time about, like, how people can set up appointments with us. So yes, you can actually schedule a complimentary wellness chat with us, and you can do so by going to bit.ly/AW appointment, spelled out, and I'll make sure I put that in the chat. You can actually book your appointment with us at bit.ly/AW appointment to schedule your actual your wellness chat with us, right? And so, because a lot of people are like, okay, yes, I want to find out about how to do this and find out what's going on with me in certain areas, and how to do scans, or how to do the testing, or even how to do some of the other services that you guys do, and what are some of the products that you have. And so, getting on the joining a program that we offer a package. And so the best way to do that is for us to have it, because it's individualized and customized, and so therefore you are able to find ways that we can, cater to you, so that those things that I mentioned in the video, in the live, will actually be able to be, applied to you. So remember, we said that knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is great, but actually being able to have applied knowledge about you is power, right? Applied knowledge about you, knowledge that you've gained, you're applying it, but it's communicated to you. So with that being said, again, if you want to actually book an appointment with us for a complimentary wellness chat, it is bit.ly/AW appointment, bit.ly/AW appointments. So thank you guys so much for joining us on live. We're getting these lives together in 30 lives in 30 days. And so we're looking forward to connecting with you guys. And so if you actually want to book us, go ahead and book us. Make sure that you're checking us out, because we're nurturing you all November. And so again, my name is Sequoia Ashe Taylor. I'm the CEO and founder of Ashe Wellness, and we look forward to talking to you guys later. Ashe.